Do you know that women's expectations of themselves are 50% lower than those of men, with the same qualifications, the same abilities, the same skills? And that percentage is even lower for women of color. And this is called the expectations gap, because research has shown that less is expected of women, not just by men, but also by other women. Now, here's the inverse. The inverse is what's called the power penalty, which is when women show their power. Women who are in positions of power will now be judged. And research has shown that women who are in positions of power are viewed as less likable. And so, in order to fit in, women will downplay their skills, their abilities, their qualifications, because they are viewed as too powerful. You see, women in general will aim lower. And this happens because we are faced with what are called invisible barriers. And so one of the things that is so important when I coach women, I am someone that has a woman-centered perspective in my coaching, is the skill of amplifying a woman. Amplifying goes a step deeper than mirroring someone. When you mirror someone, you actually reflect what you see. When you amplify someone, you're not just reflecting what you see. You are actually seeing the deeper potential, the brilliance that this woman holds inside that she herself isn't capable of seeing, because we have been so conditioned and so programmed to suppress our power, to suppress our greatness. It comes from social conditioning. We're born into cultures where, as little girls, we're told to be nice, to be pleasant, right? We're told that making mistakes isn't a good thing. Little boys are raised differently. Little boys are told to try things out, and even if they make a mistake, it's okay. This is where the whole balance of the feminine energy and the masculine energy also comes into play. And so because of that social conditioning, whether it be the culture that we're raised in, the family group that we're raised in, religious influences, the educational system, women expect less of themselves. Women will aim lower. Plenty of research shows that when applying for jobs, the majority of women, if they feel they don't have every qualification met, that they are not perfect for the job, they will not apply. Whereas men will, even if they don't have all of the qualifications fulfilled. So these invisible barriers are a tremendous influence, and it's holding back so much potential in our world, because this is the time of the divine feminine rising. We absolutely need a world to return to balance and harmony with feminine energy and masculine energy. And women are not going to be able to truly rise into their greatness and into their power without being truly seen and heard. And so the skill of amplification is something that is very much needed when coaching women. It's not enough to ask a woman, well, what are your goals and how do we help you to reach those goals? You see, that's a masculine structure. And that is how the masculine operates, with goal setting and taking the action steps to achieve those goals. The masculine men in our world, in our society, do not have the depth of invisible barriers that women have. And so for women, it's not just setting goals. What we need to do, and what I do as a coach, is I have a woman connect to her deepest yearnings, to her heart's desires, which is much more than just trying to accomplish goals. That's not to say that setting goals isn't important. It definitely has a place in our society, in our world. But when you're truly trying to create the life of your dreams, the life that is truly aligned with who you are, knowing that that potential is just waiting to be birthed in you, it's tapping into your deepest yearnings, your heart's desires that's going to bring that out of you. So as a coach, this is what I focus on: amplifying a woman's potential, seeing it for her, even if she doesn't see it for herself, because the majority of women, we don't see it for ourselves. I've had to work on this process for myself, and that's how I know how important this is for women. And after amplifying a woman and allowing her to see her greatness and her brilliance, even with her imperfections, because we are allowed to be both brilliant and imperfect, then I help women to resource themselves. Where is this going to come from? What steps are going to change in your life? What actions are you going to be able to take, even the littlest ones, to start moving, to recognize and to acknowledge that you have this deeper potential in you that is yet to be realized? And finally, the skill of sponsorship, or of championing a woman, because that's what women need. We need to be championed. We need to be sponsored. We need to be seen and heard by other women. So if this is calling to you, please reach out. The link to my website is in my bio. This is really needed right now on Earth. The divine feminine is rising, and we absolutely need women to rise in their power, to rise in their greatness, to restore the harmony and balance that is very much needed right now as we go through this transformation on Earth.